Now, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in next month's election, Atiku Abubakar, says he will grant detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, that's Nnamdi Kanu, unconditional release if he's elected president on May the 29th. That's according to his campaign council. Kanu has been in detention facility of the Department of State Services, DSS, since June of 2021, when he was intercepted and renditioned to Nigeria from Kenya by the federal government. He's being charged for terrorism. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja in October of 2022 quashed the terrorism charge the federal government had preferred against him and acquitted him of the 7-count charge pending against him before the Federal High Court in Abuja. But the federal government challenged the judgment at the Supreme Court, remanding the IPOB leader who's still in custody. Arise analyst Mr. Kayode Otitoju joins us now to discuss Atiku's promise and Nnamdi Kanu's continuous detention. Good afternoon, and thank you again for joining us on Newsday.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm from Anambra State, so this hits a bit close to home. I know what the sit-at-home has caused and what it's done to the economy. Every Monday, no business and all that. So I'm just wondering if you think this promise by the PDP presidential candidate that he would actually smooth things over with Nnamdi Kanu, as well as other, members of IPOB, would garner him that support that would have probably been enjoyed by the Labour Party's presidential candidate. Will this be enough to sway the direction of where things might go in terms of support?
That promise was really made by Professor Obiora, who is a member of the Presidential Campaign Council in charge of Anambra. He made that in respect of Nnamdi Kanu's detention, and made it on behalf of the presidential candidate of PDP. I think this is the beauty of having structures all over, because even when Atiku could be in the north, there was someone in the southeast campaigning for him and making promises on his behalf. At the end of the day, what we are after is how Atiku wins, okay? Through those structures. If he wins, will he release Kanu? That's another question entirely, because state matters, are done according to Constitution. Even when he was released, through the pronouncement of the Supreme Court, they still find a way of keeping him, okay? But, the amnesty or whatever depends on individual. Atiku may get there and be more pragmatic, and seize it and see, releasing as one of the things that will make him popular, particularly in the southeast. So, and who knows? Tomorrow. I mean, read tomorrow, 31st. Is it 31st?
Today is the 31st, I think.
30.
Today is the 31st, last day of January,
really?
So tomorrow is election month.
Oh, okay, who knows? Before election, Buhari may release him. And that means that promise becomes useless. You get my point? I mean, promise on me. So, this is what I know is very important. People should use every opportunity to promote their candidate, okay? And the candidates too must use every opportunity to promote themselves. But what we see in Nigeria is candidates look at the weak points of opponents and capitalize on it. You get my point? Yes. So, well, it's part of political gerrymandering. That is, you use whatever you have to gain, more attention and, beggar your opponent, So, like if you move further in that news, you will see how they even talk of Tinubu. He has gone on several occasions. He said this, he said that. Some of those things may even be slip of tongue. When you are at campaign ground, there are some things you do unconsciously. Some may be syntax in nature, and some may be logical. At the end of the day, the press will just pick it and amplify it. So all these are very important, and these are things that make campaign period interesting. And they never meant it to. When they are fighting and their attack dogs are fighting, when these people meet at presidential lunch, they hug and joke, and you get my point.
Yes.
And that is why this country is about the best country, because people don't take this animosity down to their veins. They just do it, and most especially men, after talking or whatever, they forget it, and life continues. So, but head or tail, Atiku wants to win, all right? And he will use all he has, and his campaign council will use all it has to promote the candidate.
Now, all the election bravado aside, of course, some of it has been bravado. Some of it has been very entertaining, but a lot of it thought-provoking. And of course, on many of the more serious platforms, the town halls, Chatham House outings, and so forth, the question, how will you engage agitators, has been very pertinent for all of the candidates. And all of them have generally said, I will engage them, I will speak to them, I will so forth. It has been a very sort of uniform answer. This is the first time we're getting something off the script. Someone has categorically said, this is what I will do. Now, what do you think this does for the temperature of the electorate? Is this something that you think will just fly under the carpet as bravado? Is this something we'll talk about for about 24 hours and move on? Or do you think that people are going to engage with this, and people are going to believe and buy into this particular angle of the Atiku and the PDP's manifesto and promises to the people of Nigeria?
I can say people will buy into it because Atiku is a man of his word. I'm saying this based on personal experience. Around 2014, late Professor Baba Lola Borishade, who was the DG of Atiku campaign, incorporated me into the media. And on 2 occasions, we had meeting with Atiku at Intercontinental Hotel, VI. And despite the fact that I was a lone voice telling him what to do, I told him that before you can do this, you have to go and beg Baba Obasanjo, because, he wasn't happy with you. So when we finished the meeting, Atiku left his own table, came, because it was like a conference table, and came to me and said, thank you very much. I will do just exactly that. And he now gave me his personal phone number. So when and other people, when I was talking, it was like, who brought this one to who is saying this? But the man saw, substance in what I say. So this is the type of man, okay? And if he wins, Nigeria will be better for it, okay? Just as I keep on saying, the 3 major contestants are given to us by God. And each of them, is good, based on their pedigree. The only person I haven't had proximal interaction with, among them is Peter Obi. And what everybody says is that he is good. He is good. and is my parishioner, Catholic. Yeah, so he is good. And so whoever wins among the three, we do very good. Very well.
Very well said. But I would like to deviate a little bit from the political.
Have my answer destabilized you?
No, I was picturing the story, the gesture that you clearly painted between you and the PDP presidential candidate, and I have a vivid imagination, so it was good to imagine that playing out. But I'm just wondering what your take might be regarding the whole Nnamdi Kanu situation in terms of how President Muhammadu Buhari handled or mishandled it, because the legal counsel for Nnamdi Kanu maintains that he cannot flout the orders of the court, that he's supposed to honor court orders. I'm just wondering what your perception of this whole situation in terms of how it's been managed.
Do you want to know my personal opinion?
Yes, please.
If I were Buhari, I will keep him. Yeah. Because see the type of trauma this man made Buhari go through. There was even a time, my wife and I, we say, let's really look at his hair. Is it the correct hair or that of the man from Niger? Is it Niger? Because he said Buhari wasn't in Nigeria, that it wasn't through Buhari. So all those things were enough to make one really, annoyed. But as a father of the nation, after some time, it's like the story of the tortoise and his in-law. So the in-law stole something, and tortoise got the in-law arrested and detained him on the marketplace road. So when people were saying, why is tortoise in-law detained? They said his story is this thing. I said, he serve him right. So when people were coming back from market and the in-law was still where tortoise detained, they said, what? After all, it's an in-law. I mean, he ought to have been released by now. So, do you get my point? So, they say, Aloti, so the going is for the tortoise, and the coming back is for the in-law. So, after some time, maybe Buhari should just overlook all those things and just know that actually these are some of the things that one have to overlook, in the course of being father to the nation and being father to all. Maybe. But so a vindictive man like me will do exactly.
Mr. Otitoju, on that profound note, we're going to leave it on the profound note. We're not going to include that last statement. Thank you so much.